From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and welcome to your MTN Noon News for this Thursday. I'm Charlie Klepps. Let's get right to our top story. We begin with the battle over public lands as the topic continues to be highlighted by developments in Washington, D.C. President Trump's One Big Beautiful bill would allow for millions of acres of treasured public lands to be sold. It's an issue that has wilderness experts raising concerns and many now closely watching to see how Montana Senator Steve Daines and Tim Sheehy will vote. MTN's Haley Monaco tried to catch up with both as the debate in Washington grows heated yet again this week.
Let's go. Come on, let's go. A big percentage of people who live here because of the public land.
From the rivers and streams to the mountains and hills, the future of our public lands is now at the forefront of Mike Penfold's mind.
Once that public land is gone, it is gone forever. We never have it back.
Language authorizing the sale of some public lands was removed at the last minute from President Trump's big, beautiful budget bill just hours before the House Budget Committee passed the package. But now,
of underused federal land,
Utah Senator Mike Lee plans to add the sale of public lands back into the bill. And it's not sitting well with public land advocates like Penfold.
These guys who want to take this public land away from us, take that heritage away from us, know that the rich people in this country are the ones who would benefit from it. It's not going to be the people who use it right now.
During a committee hearing Wednesday, senators questioned Interior Secretary Doug Burgum about what states could be involved.
Sales, they would look at the states that have been most overburdened by the federal government percentage, and among the top of that, Nevada, Alaska, Idaho, and Utah are among the states that have the highest percentage of federal land. They also
and certain states like Montana might be exempted.
Not familiar with that or understand why that would be or not be that.
Montana U.S. Senators Steve Daines and Tim Sheehy want the president's budget bill to pass, but have dodged questions on whether they would vote for it if it contains provisions to sell public lands. MTN requested interviews with both senators, but instead were provided statements, with Senator Sheehy saying in part, "Public lands belong in public hands. That's not just a slogan, it's a way of life." Daines has sent differing statements. Last week, his spokesperson said, quote, "Senator Daines is in talks to minimize or prevent public land sales." Now, a more firm stance, with that same spokesperson saying, quote, "Senator Daines is against the sale of public lands and is making his strong concerns clear to his colleagues." But during Wednesday's hearing, Daines made no mention of public land sales. Instead,
one issue that we're focused on in Montana, among many, is grizzly bears.
Delisting grizzlies and talked of Montana Energy. The language regarding the sale of public lands has yet to be added back to the bill, but Burgum confirmed that discussions are happening to include the sale of up to 2 million acres, which he argues would create affordable housing. A slippery slope that some say would open the door to a dangerous precedent.
You know it's going to be coming here. Once they get their foot in the door, they will never stop. It's the biggest public asset that exists, and they can't wait to get their hands on it.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
It may seem like the talk of DOGE and funding cuts is winding down, but for one local nonprofit, it's actually ramping up. MTN's Cassidy Powers learns how Bridger Care is taking action regarding their federal funding that's been frozen for 2 months.
Even though Elon Musk is no longer with the Department of Government Efficiency, the effects of funding cuts are still being felt throughout the nation. For one local nonprofit whose federal funding has been frozen for the last 2 months, well, they decided it's time to take action.
A couple of my roommates come here, a lot of my friends come here. Bridger Care is popular for a reason.
4 years ago, when Olivia Watney moved to Bozeman, she had no idea how much an annual wellness exam at Bridger Care would inspire her.
And I had a really incredible experience, and it was kind of part of the reason why I wanted to work here in the first place.
Today, Olivia is the development coordinator for Bridger Care. And if you're not sure what Bridger Care does, they provide affordable reproductive and sexual health care services throughout their 20 clinics across the state of Montana, serving more than 15,000 people each year. But recently, hardship has struck this nonprofit.
So right now we receive $2 million per year through the Title X grant program with the Health and Human Services Department. And right now, all of that $2 million is frozen.
Stephanie McDowell, the executive director of Bridger Care, tells me funds were frozen 2 months ago.
It's been really tricky because we were given little to no notice that our funding was going to be paused.
Bridger Care was scheduled to receive funding on April 1st this year. Stephanie tells me they were notified the afternoon of March 31st. Their funding was frozen. April 10th was the last they heard from Health and Human Services.
Truly, it feels like our systems are pretty broken right now to not be able to get and receive information about where we are.
Which is why on June 10th, Bridger Care, along with 6 other grantees of Title X, sent a letter to the Department of Health and Human Services demanding answers. Part of the letter reads,
"In light of the harmful impacts of our Title X funding being withheld, we request that you share information about your process and timeline for releasing the funding by June 20th and releasing the funds as soon as possible."
As for Olivia, her hopes as both a patient and employee,
I hope we get a response or just more clarity. Being able to have some sense of whether this funding is going to come through or not will allow us to make a better plan for the future, whether it's good news or bad news.
In Bozeman, Cassidy Powers, MTN News.
Take a look at Doppler radar here as we start getting into the second half of the day. We're seeing some of these stronger storms. Today's mainly about some areas of heavy rain favoring north central Montana in particular. Here's Great Falls, Lewistown towards the north. These areas of heavier rain have developed, especially since this morning when a lot of the rain was from Miles City over towards Glasgow. But as we get into tomorrow, we're going to shift still the possibility of some heavy rain, but we'll start to look at a higher possibility of strong to severe storms, especially in this yellow shaded area through central Montana, extending down into northern Wyoming. Gusty winds, hail, heavy rain possible with storms over a widespread area. Forecast details are minutes away.
Now time for today's leading look as we follow some of the other stories making headlines across Montana. The Gallatin City County Health Department has confirmed a 12th case of measles. This latest case, which was reported on Monday, is community acquired, meaning there were no previous contact with known cases or travel history. In total, Montana is reporting 20 measles cases statewide, with Gallatin County accounting for 12 of them. Measles is highly contagious, spreading rapidly among those without immunity. State health officials believe that a decline in vaccination rates is a key factor in this outbreak. And Yellowstone National Park continues to enjoy a very busy year. The park hosted more than 566,300 visitors in May, which is up 8% from last year. It also represented the busiest May on record, showing a 20% increase from May of 2021. That year, if you remember, was Yellowstone's record-breaking year, with more than 4.8 million visitors. So far this year, the park has seen more than 762,600 visitors, up 6% from last year and 17% from 2021. The search for a missing 23-year-old man that fell into East Rosebud Creek on Sunday is being paused due to increased water levels. The Red Lodge Fire Rescue posted on their Facebook page explaining that because of that elevated water, the search would be ineffective. That decision was made after consulting with the National Weather Service. The hope is for the search to resume next week.
The Helena Public Schools Board of Trustees voted to close Hawthorne Elementary School. The decision came just hours after students and staff left for their last day of school, not knowing where they would be going for the next school year. So what will this upcoming fall look like for them?
It's an all summer work. It's that you may get the majority of our students in a position where they're comfortable with what their new school may look like. But we also provided the opportunity, if it doesn't work for you, then tell us what might work, and then really trying to place students where it best fits their needs.
Superintendent Rex Welch says that placing students and staff for the 2025 to 2026 school year began on Wednesday, the day following the vote to close the school. Welch says the district was unable to start making transitional plans for Hawthorne Elementary School until they had a final vote by the board. The district is confined to what actions they can take by Policy 9150, which requires that the Board of Trustees wait 90 days before making a decision on a school closure after it is recommended by the superintendent. Welch says he is looking to recommend a review of the policy to possibly shorten its timeline.
I would like to have been able to tell our parents where their kids were going to go before that last day, and we really tried to make that decision right during the transmittal of the legislation session to see if there was money coming at us, and it didn't look like there was going to be, some sort of increase in revenue other than the stars, and that wasn't operational.
Wilt says there is no hard deadline for when a teacher or staff member must have their things removed by, but many started doing it on Wednesday.
Teachers are boxing those up, taking their classrooms and putting them in boxes and leaving them there and marking them, and then where they know they're going to go, then the facilities, the maintenance team will take those in deposit or drop those off back in their classrooms correspondingly.
Now here at Hawthorne Elementary School, staff, students, parents, and alumni are getting together to celebrate the roughly 100-year-old school.
Well, I think since the class sizes were so small, it was much easier to know everyone and get to know other people and make friends.
The closeness of the school is something 7-year-olds Tasha and Tegan relate to. They will now be going to the 2nd grade at Central Elementary School.
In these small schools, you know everybody. Yeah, but in the big schools, a lot of people are strangers.
I asked the two friends what they knew about the school closing.
I kind of knew it was going to close, but I still had some hope.
The celebration honoring the school is a time for staff, parents, and students to say goodbye and remember what made it a special place for them.
It was a great school. Yeah, it was really fun. It's fun, and I made friends, and I really liked it.
In Helena, I'm Allie Kaiser, MTN News.